XLI Education Study in USA assured scholarship. Contact 9881 96666.
ఇప్పుడు నాతో ఉన్న గెస్ట్ రీసెంట్ గా మీరు మంగళవారం మూవీ చూసినట్లయితే అందులో క్లైమాక్స్ లో రివీలింగ్ గా వచ్చిన క్యారెక్టర్ చేసిన దివ్యా పిల్లై గారు ఇవాళ మనతో ఉన్నారు.
I was working in Dubai for an airline as a commercial analyst, as an analyst. I wanted to become a pilot, and then I realized there's a lot of responsibility. About 300 other souls is your responsibility. So I was like, okay then. And I'm scared of flying.
Oh, you scared of flying?
Yeah.
Even మంగళవారంలో కూడా సో పర్ఫెక్ట్. That innocence, that smile and all perfectly suited you.
So I was like very romba like oru nervousness irundichu, like, and then finally when it came out, many people in the industry that they don't really talk about the struggles. They talk about all the movie was fantastic, or like even after Color, I got a lot of roles where like it's housewife, and you know there was a lip lock scene, and then lip lock. I'm like, I am not a big fan of this lip lock. You don't have time to think about, oh my god, this kiss is amazing.
Is Divya Pillai married? Is Divya Pillai engaged? Or Divya Pillai in relationship?
Yeah, I was in a relationship for 12 years. This is the first time I'm talking about it.
హలో యాస్, వెల్కమ్ టు టాక్ షో విత్ హర్షిని. వెల్కమ్ టు ఐ డ్రీమ్ మీడియా. ఇప్పుడు నాతో ఉన్న గెస్ట్ అంటే మోస్ట్ ఆస్క్డ్ గెస్ట్ అనమాట. ఈ షోకి తీసుకురావాలి, మాట్లాడాలి అని. రీసెంట్గా మీరు మంగళవారం మూవీ, హిట్ అయిన మూవీ మంగళవారం మీరు చూసినట్లయితే అందులో రివీలింగ్గా వచ్చిన క్లైమాక్స్లో రివీలింగ్గా వచ్చిన క్యారెక్టర్ చేసిన దివ్యా పిల్లై గారు ఇవాళ మనతో ఉన్నారు. నమస్తే.
Namaste.
హౌ ఆర్ యూ?
Very good, Harshini. Thank you so much for having me here.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ కమింగ్. నౌ ఐ విల్ స్టార్ట్ స్పీకింగ్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. బేసిక్గా దివ్యా పిల్లై గారు ఈజ్ మలయాళీ. నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడడానికి ట్రై చేస్తాను. అక్కడక్కడ కొన్ని ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్స్ వాడతాను, సో దట్ అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది. యా, ఓకే.
నేను తెలుగు హౌ డు ఐ సే అండర్స్టాండ్,
అర్థం చేసుకుంటాను.
అర్థం చేసుకుంటారు.
వైల్ మాట్లాడడం
కొంచెం
గ్రామర్ మిస్టేక్,
లైక్ వర్డ్స్ எல்லாமே లైక్ యు నో
ప్రొనౌన్స్ చేయడం, లాంగ్ వర్డ్స్ కూడా
ఐ డోంట్ నో హౌ టు సే ఇట్ బ్యాక్, బట్ ఐ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్. లైక్ దానికి అర్థమైంది, అర్థమవుతుంది.
నైస్. సో మీకు అర్థమైంది కదా సిచ్యువేషన్.
That is the issue right now.
ఓకే, ఎనీవే మా ఆడియన్స్ ఆర్ రెడీ. అంటే మీరు అసలు మీ గురించి తెలుసుకోవాలని, లైక్ వే యూ ఫ్రమ్ అన్నీ తెలుసుకోవాలని దే ఆర్ వెయిటింగ్. విల్ మేనేజ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ నౌ. ఓకే, ఎలా ఉన్నారు? హౌ ఆర్ యూ?
బాగున్నారు. So like I'm very happy to be here. Mangalavaram, thank you so much. Like the love that I've got from the people, like you know, it's like I didn't expect. Other konchu like a villain character, appa I was like, okay, parvale konchu different ayirukum. Like you know, for me to also to perform, you know, it'll be nice. I thought like, and I like doing a little bit of a challenging role. So something that's different. So when that came up, I was like, okay, it's interesting. And then finally, for the movie to release, it took almost a year after we shot. Like oru varshakku apra like it released. So I was waiting so much, like you know, like because I was keen on seeing. Because the story itself is a bit controversial.
Exactly.
Very controversial story. So I've never been a part of like such a controversial, like you know. So I was like, I was nervous about that. I was nervous about like you know how my character would be perceived. Like you know, romba innocent, then suddenly did it work? Like you know that the changeover,
that revealing, was that surprising or not?
அது வந்து like audience-க்கு அது like did they capture that, did they get it? அதெல்லாம் like you know, so I was like ரொம்ப like ஒரு nervousness இருந்துச்சு, like, and then finally when it when it came out, and unfortunately at that time I was abroad. I was shooting for a Tamil film. So I was in Malaysia, so I couldn't come for the promotions and to see because usually for my first show, like we have a special show, Malayalam films, and I like to watch it with the audience,
so that you could see the reaction.
So they see the reaction. Like I love it, you know. So like when they, apota like okay, nama vanda.
It's like a verdict, right?
Ama.
Like what we have done.
Exactly. So it's like okay. So whatever we have done, if it's negative or you know, positive response, it doesn't matter. If people like can understand your character, if they can, so that means your job okay, good,
perfect.
So you feel like okay, fine, okay, it's good. So that kind of satisfaction is it's amazing, and that's why I'm doing this, like, you know, so that
yeah. So Mangalavaram tarvata release tarvata you haven't gave any interview, right? This is your first interview after Mangalavaram.
Yeah.
Yes. But team vallu, did they record and send you the reactions at the theaters?
Yes. I saw some of them, and Ajay sir had avanga vandu like he was like telling me like Divya, please come and just see, you know, and I was like, sir, it's all thanks to Ajay sir, because it's his writing and his vision of that character.
Director Ajay Bhupati.
Yes, Ajay sir's so avanga vandu like the character, like how he executed, you know, the character, and how he kept that character as a secret till the end.
Exactly.
Nobody even guessed that. That is a writer's and a filmmaker's brilliance.
Yeah.
I always say I'm a director's actor. However they want to portray me, because I'm new to this. I'm new to acting. I never thought that I would be an actor.
Okay.
So never. I was working in Dubai for an airline as a commercial analyst, as an analyst. So I never thought that I would be here and, you know, working as in the movies, or it just by chance happened.
How?
So
We want to know.
So my story is like, I was born and raised in Dubai.
Okay.
Lived all my life there, and then I did my engineering in Coimbatore.
Okay.
That's how I'm little, you know, familiar with
Tamil.
With Tamil, yeah.
Okay.
And then after that I went back to Dubai. I was working with my dad first in his business, and then finally Emirates. I was for the longest time, like I was working as an intern first over there in Emirates as a cabin crew recruitment team, like an admin job.
Okay.
So that was my first job, and then from there I grew, and I was like working. Then I moved to Fly Dubai, and that's another airline, and it was my dream. Like when I was a child, I lived next to the airport, and there in Dubai they used to have these Dubai Air Show.
Oh, okay.
So it's brilliant to see that. Like, you know, there are different fighter aircrafts with, you know, with colors and everything, with the different flags, and, you know, so different countries would represent. So I always was fascinated by that. I always wanted to become, so I wanted to become a pilot, and then I realized that like, you know, there's a lot of responsibility that you're carrying. About 300 other souls is your responsibility. So I was like, okay then. And I'm scared of flying.
Okay. Oh, you're scared of flying?
Yeah, I'm scared of flying. So because I had an experience like while I was traveling back from Coimbatore to Dubai once, to Sharjah once. It just happened like a turbulence. And just a bit, and I really freaked out after that.
Oh, it was severe then.
Yeah, it was
severe turbulence.
Severe turbulence, and it just dropped.
Oh.
Yeah. So then
on
that
the
happens.
runway.
No. Then while you're flying, sometimes there are air pockets. So then the flight just drops. Sometimes it happens with a pressure difference. It's safe. There's absolutely no problem. But it happens sometimes. But then that really,
tension.
yeah, that really. Because of that, I was really scared, and I was very young at that time. So I was like, okay, I'm scared of this, but I don't. So then I was like, you know what? I don't want to become a pilot. Maybe not. But then let me try. But I always want
somewhere
to be
related to airline
to
on the
airlines.
ground.
Not up air, not up in the air, but then somewhere in the ground I can help the people get in and go. So I worked in different departments. I have worked in airport services, reservations, in different departments. Like I kept moving around, and finally I was in the commercial department, and yeah, and then while I was working for airport services is when like I went for my friend's wedding, and she got married to a celebrity, a Malayalam celebrity, Kavya Madhavan's brother.
Okay.
So she, so at the event, like at her wedding, there were so many directors, and they kind of like, one of them noticed me for this movie that he was directing, and that was Vineet Kumar sir for Fahad Fasil's movie Ayal Janala. That was my first movie.
Okay.
So that's how they contacted my friend, said, and so she was like, I thought it was a prank call. Honestly, I thought she was pranking me. She's like, you know what? You were there, and you came for the wedding, right? So then this director saw you, and he wants you to be there in this movie. This is character called Hira. It's like Fahad's heroine, second heroine. So why don't you do it? And I was like, you're joking. You're joking. I didn't believe it. And then she's like, just do it. It'll be fun. She kind of convinced me. Then when I told my parents, my dad was very supportive, and that's how I did that movie.
Okay.
And I enjoyed the whole process of acting. I didn't know that I could do it. I didn't know what shooting was. I didn't know, like, and even movies also I used to watch very less because I was so focused at work. You're working for 10, 12 hours a day. After that, you don't really get time much to watch movies or whatever, then your weekend, if someone says like, oh, it's an amazing movie, it's funny, and yeah, I like comedy movies, I like watching comedy, so that's when I go and, okay, watch a movie. Otherwise, that's how disconnected with movies I was.
Okay. You are very new to the industry, right? Wasn't that nervous? Wasn't it nervous being on the set for the first time?
See, that's my first movie. They were very considerate and kind, and I thought all movies, everyone would be considerate and kind, and that's how it's going to be. So I was just patient. I was just watching and learning, and I enjoyed this. But at the same time, even back then, this was in 2015. So I was like, okay, my passion is still to be in the aviation industry, and I wanted to become like top level management, and that's where I see myself. So corporate life is what I wanted to be in, and then there's a certain kind of discipline that corporate life has. So sometimes I used to expect the same over here, like, so that was a bit
being all the time,
being,
leaving by 6,
and all the, like, not only that, it's like, certain deadlines, meeting deadlines and everything. But here, sometimes at shoot, there's so many things that could happen. Like, nothing, even if you plan to the T, like, there will be something that might be. So that's where you have to be prepared at all times. I was not ready for that.
Okay.
So so I didn't know that. Like, I was like, no, but then they said that tomorrow is my shoot, and then I'm supposed to be, why am I here? Why am I waiting here? Like, one morning till evening, when is my shot ready?
Okay, you thought the moment you come, they'll take
my shots, and I'm like, okay, that's. But it doesn't happen like that. Like, several times, there would be some other, there's a rain, or there is, the vehicle doesn't come, or some small error, and then they have to improvise and take another scene. And then that's because every day that you spend, it's money.
Yeah.
It took me a while to realize that, okay, there is just not just people's time. And so it was like, I enjoyed the process of acting, like being on screen, turning into someone else, and that was very magical for me. Like, I really, and I did.
You can live another life in the same life.
Yeah, and from somebody else's perspective and somebody else's character, you're giving life to it, and thinking about that person, how they will think, and that was very interesting for me. And I mean, I enjoyed that part of it, and I used to go back work, so unpaid leave. So then my second movie happened with Jitu Joseph sir and Prithviraj sir. Was my second movie called Ooram.
The village, that one?
No.
Another one.
This is a Malayalam film.
Okay.
Ooram it's called. Jitu Joseph sir was the director, and the lead was played by...
When was your first movie released?
2015.
15, okay.
Yeah. This is in 2016. So my, like, from the previous movie when it released, I got called for the second movie. And so that's what, every time it's happened like that, like, my previous movie gets me the next movie. Okay. It's been always like that. I've been lucky that way, touch wood, that, but after Ooram, I took a 3-year break.
Okay.
Because I got promoted in Dubai. and I couldn't take time off. For Uram, I had to take 2 months of unpaid leave, and I realized that but so many movies that came to me became a hit. I had to turn it down because I couldn't take time off. So then there was a pinch,
Yeah.
I started watching movies differently, like understanding now that I understand the process, what happens behind the scenes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then, like when I started watching movies, I started seeing it in a different. And I used to be like, okay, if I did this, how would I do it? So that kind of thing. And then
That missing feeling.
yeah, and and whatever you do when you go back at a desk and you work, no, you won't get that satisfaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once you see.
Once you're in here, and my first director, he had told me, Vinithan had told me that you wait and watch. Once the cinema bug bites you, and you will definitely come back. You will not sit. I said, no, that is my passion. I want to know. I'll become. My God, I'll become the vice president. And no, my goodness, no. And then he was like, no, you're going to come back here. This is what's going to happen. And then I was like, oh. And he's so right about it. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm thankful to him for my career. Like, every director of mine, the trust that they had in me, like, to give me that character and that role. It's like, yeah.
And even Mangalavaramlo kuda, the role that you did, it's so perfect. That innocence, that smile and all, perfectly suited you. Correct ga alage set అయ్యారన్నమాట ఆ రోల్ కోసమే ఉన్నట్టు మీరు. అది అంటే అజయ్ భూపతి గారు, I don't know how he selected.
He saw my movie Kala in Malayalam. That's how they saw me in that movie. Adukapram like they called me for this role, and initially I was a bit like, I was like, okay, but then I was like, you know what, it's a like negative character. So how I see it is that if you remove my character from the movie, how important is it? Like, that's how I decide on.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. So as long as I have a, like, of course I love to do lead roles, and I enjoy doing my lead characters and whatnot. But then sometimes, as an actor, you just have to. I love to see. I didn't restrict myself. Okay, because it's a negative role, I will not do it. I loved that character. Like somehow that was like, it gave me that edge. So yeah. And sometimes when you're doing a negative character, you have a range of emotions that you can portray. Like I feel like there is usually it is I think it is always sadness or happiness or love. You have to variate yourself in this zone, like but when it is like a negative, like a bold, or like a different kind of, you have different range. It carries you, the graph goes like like, so you can put yourself in different, and you can just float into it. So that's what I enjoyed, like the changeover, like I really, the way how when Ajay Bhupati sir said that when he's going to come and you're going there, you're like, you want to know like what happened, is who's the next person's name that is written there, what's going to happen, because she's afraid whether her husband will know that it's her name. And then she's like, oh, what's happened with that? And then he already knows by then. And when he puts me in that, I'm already prepared to kill him. Like
Yeah.
So that whole thing of like, that's where he wanted my change to come.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that scene.
బట్ ఇన్ రియల్ లైఫ్లో కూడా ఇఫ్ యూ సీ అంటే మన అలా కైండ్ ఆఫ్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ చూసినప్పుడు ఇట్స్ వెరీ అంటే రిలేట్ చేసుకోవడం కష్టం. వీ కాంట్ రిలేట్ టు దెమ్. వీ డోంట్ ఈవెన్ రీడ్ అబౌట్ దెమ్ అంత ఫ్రీక్వెంట్గా మనం వీ డోంట్. బట్ relating is one thing, and living in that character
is a different thing. See, that's one thing. Like I enjoy it at that time. Once he says cut, I'm out of it also. I don't understand this whole thing of like I enjoy being someone else. I know I'm playing someone else. Like that much like, and then you can, because you're playing with your facial expressions, you're playing with your faces, and how you're emoting, and it's just fun to do that. But that doesn't mean that you get into deep in that, emotionally you get connected to that. I can't do that because some of the characters that I've chosen to do also, like I don't agree with it, and completely that I don't agree with, I don't take it up also. That's also there. There are some characters where that's come to me, and then I'm like, I don't I don't feel it. Like, so sometimes it happens. Like, you feel it. Like, that's where I draw the line. Like, oh no, I can't do it. Or like, you have to let go of certain things. Like, But this one was interesting for me. She's frustrated. So I created the whole backstory in my head. She's frustrated. She's angry. She's like, and that's how Ajay Bhupati sir explained that to me, like help me, because she's being abused by her husband, and and these things happen in real life, and people don't talk about it or anything, but you see that around you. So then I felt like, okay, you know what? Why not? It's not like it's going to change anything or anything, but then at least it's shown out to people, right? Like whoever is this nice portraying people, not necessarily, they have their reasons. We are not known to judge, but they have their reasons to do whatever they want. But this is life.
Exactly, yeah.
So and that was important, and it was important, and he was so adamant, about that, and he was like saying that there are so many people, and I initially even I was like, why can't she just leave her husband and then go and do whatever she wants? Like, that's what anyone would do with common sense.
But it's quite unusual in villages.
Yeah,
Leaving a husband is
and then going, and he's like, no, it is not. It's not for people like that. It's not. They like to, and for them, it's so important. This image, this respect, this,
and the family carries.
The family carries and everything. That is important. So we had a long discussion about this for him to, tell me, and then it made sense to me to a certain level that why this person is like this, and obviously it's a bit more dramatic in movies, not like that in real life, but this is what makes you think, no, like there's so many people, like there's. I know, like after coming to India, moving to in 2020, I made this decision. Okay, I'm taking up acting.
But right now you're not doing.
No, I'm not. 2019 August, I resigned.
Okay.
And I moved to Kochi 2020 Jan 1st.
Okay.
So I'm grateful and happy that I've taken the decision. It took me a while to decide that, because you need to have that financial stability, because this industry, as much as it's glamorous and beautiful,
It's uncertain too.
It's uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty around it. And I knew that you're not getting so I'm so used to having this monthly salary every month. You plan everything. You plan your finances. You plan everything is planned. But here you no matter what you do, how much ever you plan, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you have to be like, so I want to make sure that I'm financially okay. So then I'm not like, and I can choose what I want to do. If the movie is nice, if the script is well with me, it's like I get to, I'm not like desperate for work in that sense or anything of that sort. So I have that freedom to
choose.
And that was important to me.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's where I am right now.
But you quit your job and you came here.
Yeah.
Like this pressure of not doing work every day and expecting work and expecting more work.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of a pressure for you?
It's like, it's not a pressure. See, that's why it's important that you need to have some sort of, like, that's why I took a break and I was continuously working. I took some time to decide. So financially I was okay. I made some money, I kept some, so financially you're good. You're not like, you're not depending on, and of course you have your parents' backup also. But you can't every time, your first month you can ask, second month you can ask. After that, you're like, your parents are like, what are you doing? You left your job and you came here. So then that's always going to be there. Yeah. But you don't let yourself, sometimes some movies you might have to do, where if you see financial gain, sometimes you do certain things for, you might take a lesser remuneration, but if the character and the team and everything is good, if it takes you to another level and you get that satisfaction, it all depends on how you want to, it's all up to that person. Sometimes, and I have this actor friend in Malayalam, he's like, and he's directed a movie. He's very famous, okay, Dhyan Srinivasan. So Dhyan, I remember he telling me, like, I was like, Dhyan, he's so busy and he's going continuously, he's working. And whenever he's very funny, he's a funny person. And he mentioned this to me, saying that sometimes you just have to do movies because we are actors. This is what we are doing. This is our job. So as any other person, you have to consider this as a job. Yes, sometimes for me it's difficult to name a price tag on myself, on my uh, acting, or for work. But sometimes you just have to stand strong in your ground, and you say that yes, this is what I am. And then that's where you make that decision whether you want to hike up your price or whether you want to lower your price, or things like that. And so he was saying that sometimes you just do movies to maintain that lifestyle, to maintain. You need to work. You can't say that. You can't go to a grocery store and say, oh, I'm an actor, give me this. They will not do that. But when you go to, for when they come to you for something, like there are people who will come to actors or singers, or even to you, like everyone who is famous, they'll come to you, can you just do this for us, can you just do this for us? And doesn't work like that, like so you have to really stand your ground and make your this is a struggle that people really don't talk about. Many people in the industry, that they don't really talk about the struggles. They talk about all the, oh, the movie was fantastic, or the struggle in the movie,
only the glam side of the industry.
But these things, so anyone who's who wants to come to this, I know there are so many young men and women who want to be in the limelight, and always make sure that you stand your ground and you have financial independence. Don't put your head down to anyone. You know your worth. Don't let anyone else decide that for you. So for that is very important. I feel that is important, because at certain times people will try to put you down by bringing your worth down. That doesn't mean that that's them. That's how much they can do. That doesn't have to indirectly mean your worth, if that makes sense.
Yeah. As we are speaking, I have a question here. Like, the male actors, they get hit or they get familiar with a movie. I don't think they think twice to increase their remuneration. When it comes to female actors, the female actors దగ్గరికి వచ్చేసరికి they think twice. అంటే నా రెమ్యూనరేషన్ నేను పెంచొచ్చా, or else I should be continuing with the same amount right now I am receiving. Why do you think there is this kind of discrimination? Not about the actual remuneration part. Thinking from the actor's perspective, no, they only like kind of worried to increase their remuneration.
Now, it happens why? Because most of our movies are men oriented, like actor oriented. Female oriented or female importance right now, it's slightly increasing or changing. But if you take 1 in 100 movies that releases, majority of the people are going for to see the main actor there. That's why it's again, that's why they get paid more if it is his movie. Even the females also, like so it's important for us, like as female artists, or and there are, and then there comes another thing of, like there are so many people ready to work for free also.
Exactly.
They're ready to work for
they have replacement for you, but not for the
exactly. So then that's where you make your worth. You work on yourself, and now there is brilliant opportunities. It's not like back in the day, like when we were growing up, where we only had a handful of directors. There are so many new directors, brilliant directors. There are brilliant cameramen, and so many like technicians also. There's so many good technicians, and you have different platforms. Everybody's on their phone, like and this 10-second, 30-second reels, you're entertained. It's not before you have to go and watch a movie to get entertained.
Exactly.
Now you don't need that. You have your platform. The world is your platform, so you don't have to be in the movies to create your worth. I know so many fantastic artists who are not actors, but they're famous. They're famous because they made their own.
They are visible every time,
everywhere. On Instagram, on YouTube, on wherever they have made their place there. So that's what I feel now. Like, it's not like before. If you really put your mind to it, you can have. You can do
at the end of the day, it's your dedication and determination that brings you work.
That brings you work. And if you're consistent with that, it will come. It will come. You just have to be patient. And this is where it gets very difficult
for every actor. Exactly, right.
You have to be patient. This waiting game, that's where it's very difficult sometimes because sometimes you think that what am I doing? And, you know, so for me, I have gone through that, like especially during the lockdown. First lockdown was fun. You know, it was like, oh, vacation. For me, it was an extended vacation. I was like, oh wow, I don't have to work. I can sleep. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. Then I started getting busy towards the end of 2020, and then 2021 again when the second or the third lockdown happened.
Second was severe.
Yeah, and that's when I was like, oh God, no, this is not okay, because I'm done sitting at home, and you know, I've always worked, and you know, for 10, 12 hours, and I just couldn't sit at home, and I was like, what am I doing? You know, it's not about at that time I just wanted to work, like I just want to get out and just do something, like, so it was difficult. So everybody went through that, like it's not just a few people, everybody went through that. So that's a constant, you know, like how can world just come to a standstill? And it humbles you in a way, it really humbles you down. Like, you know, doesn't matter who you are, what big you are, you know, that's enough. Like a little virus which you can't see with your own eyes is enough to bring you like to your senses and bring you down. So it's very important that for us, you know, don't let all these things and people around us or whatever to affect us. Do what you think is, and be present, and mentally we just have to be so calm.
But the only thing we should thank COVID.
In a way, yes. Don't come back again.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Bringing this change in us.
Yes. Yeah, it was a big eye opener. Exactly. For many, I think, yeah.
After Mangalavaram, me character choose in vallu, the people who watched the film and seen your character. Usually the common, they come up with the same kind of roles and ask you to do. Did it happen?
Yeah, I got another this thing also, like where I'm playing. I was like, I don't want to do the same thing again.
From
like,
the Telugu industry or other?
Other industries also, like even in Malayalam also I got. I'm like, now I want to do something different. Like, you know, it's something. So I really want to do a police character. Like, yeah, you know, like, because I did one with, that was a cameo. I just had to take 3 days leave from work in 2017, and I quickly just came down to, because it was with Mammootty sir.
Okay.
I always wanted to meet him, and you know, so I was like so fascinated, and my scenes were with him. So the movie's name is Masterpiece. So, okay, so I was playing a IPS role, like I was an IPS. I really loved the whole thing about, you know, it just gives you so much confidence. Like suddenly, you know, you're like, you know, you're so powerful with wearing your uniform, and I was like, something about uniforms just make you feel like so. I would, and there are the 2 movies in Malayalam that's in the pipeline, which are police related. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that to materialize and everything to come in place. It's ready. We're ready to start.
Okay.
Maybe probably by July or August.
But immediate ga one hit tarvata same kind of roles vachinappudu, did you think twice rejecting them? And before rejecting them?
No. If I see that's what I said. If it's a, like even after Color, I got a lot of roles where like it's housewife, and you know, there was a lip lock scene, and then lip lock. I'm like, you know, the director really convinced me for that role. It was necessary for that role, for like, you know, for that. That's the only reason why I did that. I am not a big fan of this lip lock. Yeah, I am not. I feel like it's too personal. It's too, you know, it's. I mean, I'm not saying it's. I won't do it again or whatever. But if it
should
really,
make sense.
Yeah, it should make sense. But so many things, you know, I got so many offers and scripts, like, you know.
It makes and
I'm like,
make any sense,
no,
but
dude,
it should be
no, not happening. So I was like, no. So only if it like, and not only that, like, you know, sometimes it really has to be, you know, make sense in the even if it's any scene for that matter, even if it's like an angry scene, or if it's like when you're trying to kill someone. I see, like, I've done few movies like that, which I'm learning from that. Like, you know, where I'm a killer in the movie, and that was before Mangalavaram that I did. Okay, so that's after that I got this Mangalavaram role. So I had to but I said okay to Mangalavaram. I said okay to this movie also. Both were negative characters. So I will take similar roles if it actually makes sense to me. But sometimes when you go at the set, when it's narrated to you in a way, but when you are actually shooting for it and when you finally see the movie, it's not how you perceived.
Yeah.
Or it's not how you have been told or narrated to. So sometimes then you realize that okay, you have to what questions to ask next. That's why I had a deep discussion with Ajay Bhupati sir, like okay, like as in why is she doing this, and why can't she just leave her husband and go, like what? So you ask so many questions about the character, and then if it makes sense to you at the end of the day, if it makes sense to you, if it has some common sense, because now you can't fool the audiences, and most movies, if you see also in Malayalam especially, if it is relatable to the audience, it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If it's relatable, movies, and that's why script is so important. And the script is the hero most of the time, so it's important, like if it makes sense to you at the end of the day, and if you can convey that to the why you're doing this. So I made few mistakes in the past where I'm like, oh, it's negative character, wow, and all that stuff, and I have fight scenes and everything, I'll take it up, wow, it's nice, but it didn't make sense. It didn't make absolute sense, like why am I doing this? But then I didn't realize it until I was there. Sometimes you just learn with experience.
Exactly.
So and that's how, like so still I'm learning. I'm still a learner, as I feel like, so that's why when they come with okay, I did that in color, like there's a lip lock scene in color and whatever, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to do it in every movie. So I make sure that, like, I tell in the beginning itself, like unless and until it's required, and I don't want to do it, like it's not important to me or anything of that sort. And to show, there's so many ways that you can show intimacy between two people. You can just sit next to each other, and I feel that's where the beauty is.
Exactly.
You don't have to be like
not
on top
the
of each
actual
other.
act, but the conversation, then the
just
looks.
with a look, or with a smile, or with how you are. That's enough, and that shows a lot of intimacy than actually like
doing the thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, sometimes I find that. So unless and until it makes sense to me, or I'm not going to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
But Divya ji, like you working in different industries, Mollywood, Collywood, and Tollywood.
Yeah.
Not in Sandalwood yet.
No, not. What is Sandalwood?
Kannada.
Kannada. Okay, Kannada. Oh, Kannada is Sandalwood. I didn't know.
Okay.
It's a beautiful name for them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, not yet in Sandalwood. No.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to Sandalwood though.
Nice. So, for an actor being in one industry and managing everything here, knowing the nature of this industry is a particular industry is very difficult. But you're doing projects in 3 industries and knowing about the people, knowing about the nature of those industries, it's very difficult, right?
Yeah.
And upon that, selecting a script, script is totally based on the audience, like is this script gonna work there or not in that industry, or is it another small film which they shoot and there is no guarantee of release. How do you choose all this? Is there anyone there to help you out?
Like in Telugu, I have my manager.
I wanna tell same question in Telugu.
Yes, please.
సో నేను ఏం అడిగానంటే, ఇప్పుడు 3 ఇండస్ట్రీస్లో ఎట్ ఏ టైం వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా, సో 3 ఇండస్ట్రీస్లో ఒక ఇండస్ట్రీలో వర్క్ చేసి అక్కడ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఎంచుకోవడం అనేది పెద్ద టాస్క్లా ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఆ నేచర్ తెలియాలి ఇండస్ట్రీ గురించి. ఒకవేళ చేసిన మూవీ అక్కడ హిట్ అవుతుందా లేదా అనే క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ ఉంటుంది. కానీ ఎట్ ఏ టైం మీరు 3 ఇండస్ట్రీలో చేస్తున్నారు కదా, ఇది ఎలా క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకుంటారు అని అడిగాను.
Like in Tamil and Malayalam, more or less, I can feel the pulse, like somewhere, because these are movies that I used to watch when I was a kid, even, like, and especially Malayalam, I don't, and Tamil, I now I've done one project called The Village. And now the other movie that's been we're doing is they've not named the film yet, but it's Vijay Sethupathi sir, Yogi Babu sir, Rukmani Vasant. So we are doing a movie together, the 4 of us, and it's a good fun movie. So because it was comedy and because it was the script also was fun. I'm like one of their friends, and you know it's exploring. When I heard the character, it was it sounded good to me. Okay, so that's how I chose, and it is Vijay Sethupathi sir. Any like, and working with him is like going to 10 acting schools. You will get trained, and like and him and Yogi Babu sirs is you know their work culture and the way how they handle a situation and you know the scene is, and it's since it's a comedy film, it was so much fun because I love doing comedy.
Okay.
And I would want to do comedy, but comedy is the hardest thing that you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me it was like, you know, that experience working with them, I had to grasp in a lot of things, like keep a straight face and then you know, say you know, like a dialogue, and you know, without it's crazy how he makes use of props nearby him so that your hands are not idle. I think the biggest challenge for an actor is, you know, what do you do when you're just, the camera is at you, but what do you do with your arms?
Yeah.
You know, what do you do with that? So then he will find something to do. And like, you know, and the way how he does it and how he treats other actors and people in the set, that's so important, you know, and all that. So that was that experience. Coming back to our question, where in Telugu it was a bit challenging for me because I don't know the pulse of the audience yet. Like I'm still trying to learn and still trying to feel it, still trying to see what. So it's exciting. At the same time, it makes me a little nervous as well. So I have a manager. I have my manager, and she's wonderful. And like, you know, she helps me through it. She helps me, like, you know, go through the whole thing, like, and explains to me, okay, this might work. This is good. So right now I'm doing a project called Tandil.
Oh, Tandil.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing a character. It's a character role in that movie. But again, it was her who actually kind of like got me that that
Okay,
part.
manager helped
Yeah,
you. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
she helped me, and she kind of, and again there was another movie with Fahad that I've you know, that's coming out in, I mean, we're starting shoot in July. It's Don't Trouble the Trouble.
Oh, okay, I've seen the poster.
Yeah, poster. I'm playing a character in that as well.
Okay.
Again, it's her who's like, you know, who's told me that. So for me, both roles were like, I'm so used to doing lead characters, and then I've done villain characters. Again, these are, you know, they're very important
Okay.
roles in movies. So for me, it was a bit like, you know, I'm doing a character, you know. So then they were like, she was like, no, just see it in this aspect and see it in this. And when she got me the narration, it took me a while to, like, you know, just to accept that. But then once I'm glad I took that project up, you know, like Tandil that I'm doing right now. I'm like so looking forward to it. And
But for most of the actors, the decision that you took is very difficult.
Yes.
But you took it.
You have, sometimes you just have to let go of, you know, your ego and your pride and everything, and just see the totality of, you know, what brings you the, you know, like as an actor, you know, are you
that
satisfied?
gives you satisfaction also.
Exactly.
Soul satisfaction.
Exactly. And I don't know, I'm here, see, I left my job and everything to act. You know, I'm here to act. I'm here to take up parts and do that job. So let me, and I'm hungry for it. Like, I'm, you know, if I'm going to be picky and choosy, and I'm going to be only a heroine, and if I'm going to only this, and if I'm going to sit like that, I'll be just sitting at home.
Yeah, nothing.
And I don't want to do that. I've sat at home during lockdown, and that's fine now. And I want to, like, you know, get out there, get whatever comes my way. And I don't believe, see, in Malayalam, if just because I did a villain role or a side character does not mean that I will not get a lead role. You're an actor. Like, it depends on what the story is and what the script is. If the script demands a person like me and like similar this thing, and if I can portray that character, then that will come to me.
Exactly. Touchwood, those kind of scenarios were there before. Like, if you if you do other roles apart from the lead role, you won't be considering for the other. That's not the situation now.
Yeah, that's not. And because as an actor, we can't we can't do that. Like, that's for me initially, because that was told to me by other people. Like, so many people will come and tell you different thousand things. Like, oh, if you do, like, listen. No, I've done so many characters, different kind of characters in Malayalam films. Like, and I still get lead characters. So it's not like, it's not for me like, okay, now just because I've done cameos. Just because I want to be a part of that movie.
Okay.
And I just went with my gut feeling, and that did not stop me from getting a lead character. And I believe that this is what it's going to be in any industry. Things are changing, and it's high time we change that mentality. Like, and just limit ourselves. Who is anyone to limit us? Like, no. So yeah.
And in Mangalavaram, I want to mention this. Antagonist anagane, once they reveal you, you're like hyper, and you all of a sudden you show your true color. You are subtle. You are subtle, and at the same time you are showing your true nature with the eyes. That's one thing I noticed, and I was so amazed how well she managed that.
With so it's like sometimes I don't know. It's how he explained it to me. Like Ajay sir, how he explained that character to me, and how he said that, like he said, Divya, this is what I need. This is what I need. And sometimes so it depends on how I'm told, and how I'm like, and how you perceive. Little bit how I perceive in that character is there. I'm not saying it's completely them, but then it's sometimes you just take that guidance and you just follow your gut feeling. I don't know, if you ask me like why did I, how did you do that, I don't know the answer to it. It just came to me, like I just felt like doing that.
The situation and the other actors, everything syncs there.
Yeah. And then you talk to, like Chaitanya was like we had to like discuss how you're going to do it, how you're going to be like, so they are also very helpful. All my co-stars, Payal also, when I had to like, Ajay sir, sometimes he goes a bit extreme. So there's a scene where I'm throwing Payal onto the ground. So I can't do that. And so like, even though we've done fight scenes and everything, and like this poor girl, she's been anyways like, she's mentally also, after a point you get very tired, and that character is tiring.
It's tiring.
And we were shooting at I think 1:32 a.m. Okay, at that scene, where I'm like ordering to kill her, Champes.
Champesi.
Yeah, Champesi. I'm saying, screaming and saying that. So at that time, I'm like holding her. So Ajay said, yeah, throw her. And I'm like, dude. And then I'm like, Payal, I'm so sorry, my dear. Is it okay if I can just do this? Like, can I hold your hair? Can I hold it? She's like, yeah, it's fine. And she had, at that point, poor girl had already given up.
Come
She's
on,
like, I'm giving up. Do whatever. And, and then she was like, and, after that, I just gave her a hug, and I was like, listen, I'm sorry, darling. And she's like, hey, it's okay, it's fine. And, and she was also like, and there was a connection, between me and her, even between me and Shravan also, like, when my boyfriend in the movie. So even Shravan also, like, he was like, so we have that, whoever I worked with, that's there in every movie that I have. It's so important that you have a good rapport with your co-artist, whoever you're working with, and, and everyone at the set, even, whoever it is, like from the light boy to the director, whoever, you have to be in sync. There's one person's, like that energy because it's an emotional thing that you're doing. Acting is emotional. So if one person's energy is like up and down, it affects you. And, and you don't want to be,
underplay or overplay.
Yeah, exactly. So in this particular scene that we were talking about, like, Chaitanya was very helpful. Ajay sir was like, okay, let's do this. And then we had a time constraint. We had to finish it up. And he didn't want to like drag it on and everything. So he had to be crisp. So there's a lot of, so before going to the set itself, I would read my lines, and I would just try to be in that, particular mood. At the set, they might change the lines. Okay. But that's fine for me. I pick up on prompting in Telugu especially. Other languages, I can remember the lines, and I can change. Tamil is a bit difficult to change also. But Malayalam is easy because of obviously, and but Tamil is a little hard. I won't say it is like, you know, but if I know the like the backbone of what is happening, then it's easier to to change and to speak. So I was in that mode already. That like, okay, this is happening and this is happening. I'm in this mode and this I'm going to, like, you know, attack him and he's going to, and at the end of the day he's going to kill me. That is there, but my whole thing is killing will come later. I'm not thinking of that. My entire scene at that my thing, at that I should somehow escape from there. I'm only thinking of that.
Okay.
Killing is his reaction. I just have to show that I'm dead, and then we have our stunt people doing the you know, falling off the thing and everything. They are doing that. I don't have to do that. Only thing is, my whole thing is, how do I escape from this person? So that is all I'm thinking about. And that's what I was, and that's just, I think that's what came into play at that point.
అండ్ దిస్ ఇంటిమేట్ సీన్ చాలా మంది యాక్టర్స్ ఇంటిమేట్ సీన్ చేసే ముందు వ్యూవర్స్ కి చాలా మంది తెలీదు. దే జస్ట్ కమ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ ఎ సడన్ దే కమ్ అండ్ దే డూ అండ్ దే గో అవే అలా ఉంటుంది. అంటే దానికి ముందు ప్రిపరేషన్, హౌ ద యాక్టర్స్ బోత్ ద యాక్టర్స్ టాక్ అనేది చాలా మంది వ్యూవర్స్ కి తెలీదు. ఓన్లీ పర్టికులర్లీ ఇంటిమేట్ సీన్ చేసే ముందు యాక్టర్స్ కి ఏ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ కోఆర్డినేషన్ అండ్ కాన్వర్సేషన్ ఉంటుందో ఫర్ అవర్ ఆడియన్స్, ప్లీజ్ వన్స్.
So in this movie itself, when I had to, okay, I'll speak about Kala first. Where that was my first. I had to do an intimate scene like that, like where with Tovino Thomas and me, and the director had. This is 3 months before when he came with this project, and he was like explaining to me. Initially I said no. I'm like, no, how can I do this? I don't know how to do it. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's going to be weird. It's going to be awkward. Obviously, in your mind, you don't know the person. You know, you're being intimate with another person. There's cameras in your face. No, I can't do it. No, I don't think I can do it. So I said no bluntly, and then he's like, no, listen. We all watch movies and we all watch this, and we, you know, it's like any other emotion. First of all, first think of that. Is this another emotion? Like, you're getting angry, you're getting sad. You can portray all that. Why can't you portray this? I was like, I don't want to, because this is not like other emotions. You're like really close to another human being, and then
And we don't do that in public.
And it's like it's awkward, you know, like it's icky. And then he's like, okay. So then he kind of like broke it down to me, like, these inhibitions, you have to cut it off as an actor. First thing, this is what you are an actor. You cannot have the liberty of deciding what is icky, what is not. Sometimes you're in, you know, dirt, mud. We'll be like, at that time, what do you say? We are fighting in that scene, or if you're like falling into that, so you'll say, it's icky, you'll not do it. I say, no, that I'll do. Oh, that you can do. This you can't do. And then I'm like, oh, okay,
Makes sense.
And then he was like, I was like, this is just like, you know, once it's cut, it's over. It's not like, you know, and I said, no, but then millions of people are watching. How do I, you know,
How they gonna take it?
Yeah, how they're going to take it? They're going to judge me. I said, why do you care? Why do you? And at the end of the day, you're an actor. You're portraying somebody else's life. It's not even like, you know. So then I was like, yeah, it's true. It's true. And then I sat with Tovino, and then we had this conversation, and we like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And when the camera is coming, some scenes you cannot, like, you know, and then there is we even discuss on how close do we get? How far do we get? Are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with this? And there's camera there. You don't feel any other emotion at that point. You're at that, you know, like when you're naturally kissing or something like that, honestly, what he's thinking and what I'm thinking is my face at that time good?
Good.
You know, is my, like, is this
Am I camera favor or not?
Yeah. Am I getting that? That is what you're thinking about. You don't have time to think about, oh my God, this kiss is amazing. No, you don't. You don't think of that. And sometimes you have to emote. The worst thing is when you have to be romantic and like this and do all this thing. Sometimes you're staring at the camera. The camera is right over here on your face, and there is a person standing over that, and there. So Tovino there's a video of what Toby has taken, like, during the making, while we were shooting for this scene itself. He's like, you know, you all think that, oh, this is amazing. There is a man who is like about 75 to 80 kgs on top of me, and I'm emoting, like, you know, and the camera is, it's true.
Yeah.
And I had to do the same thing. I'm like looking at the camera, like sitting there looking, and he's down, and it's supposed to be like that, but I'm looking at a camera. And I'm like, and there's a man like standing there. There is no way that you can be like,
And he's like no emotion on his face, and he's
and
staring at
he's you can't see his face.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can only see his body, and he's doing this. He's like squinty, and then and you're like, and but you have to be the most like
yeah,
romantic and so that's the challenge.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. And even the same thing for here also, like in Mangalavaram, when when first when Ajay sir said he's going to come on top of me, I said no, nobody's coming on top of me. I'm not comfortable with that. And he's like, okay, however you both decide how you want to do it. You both talk and decide, and how I just want to capture that you both were. There was something intimate happening between you both. Otherwise, it will not make sense to my this thing. So he had told me back, like this, there'll be a scene like this. And I was like, can we not avoid it? And like, all that. Initially, I was like that. And then he was like, no, but this is important. I only then it'll make sense. Like how, she's also, this lady is like, such a going to the temple, praying and all that. But madam has an affair. Okay, so to show that, and I said, okay, fine. Yeah, and then so Shravan and me, we sat and we decided that, I said, Shravan, I'm not comfortable with you being on top of me. He's like, no problem. You come over me, and then you just, it's like, because if it's the other way around, I'm not comfortable with that.
Okay.
That scene, I'm not comfortable if it were the other way around. And they were open to it. They were like, okay, fine, you do whatever is comfortable with you. So I was like, okay, I don't mind being on top of him and then just going, and then suddenly I'm looking and I'm not exposing anything of much or anything of that sort. Like I didn't feel it, like it was like you wear clothes, otherwise
You
like
can
crop
adjust
tops
to your
and-
comfort if you're moving towards him.
Yeah, I can do that. Then like the other way, then it's going to be like little more awkward for me. Like if someone's coming over me and doing that. So I was like, no, I prefer this. This is okay. And they were like, okay. What you come to a common ground, and you kind of like everybody comes together, and you're just thinking and working how does it, we have to make it, and it worked, right? Everybody was like, oh my god, she was like, oh, she's like, she's having an affair with this guy, and all this.
And actually, sorry to interrupt. Actually, that move did really help the scene. It shows your domination.
Yes, that I am the one who is dominating the whole thing, and that was important. I didn't want someone else to. And for me, it is whatever this whole, which we don't talk about, the sexual frustration that women have. Like it's everyone is like, it's okay if men go and cheat. It's fine. Men, that's what they do anyways. That's like the standard that everyone has. But when women do it, oh, suddenly it's like, oh my god, it's such a taboo and all that stuff. But this is emotion, this human emotion that you're trying to portray. And like, stop hiding behind like, all this hypocrisy and everything. And everybody has to, like, you're just
That
telling.
movie totally is every character and every scene is a hard hitting kind of reality.
Yeah, people don't talk about it. Like people don't like talking about it. But when the biggest culture shock that I got when I came from Dubai to Kochi and to India is everything that you seem like everything that looks perfect. I'm talking about simple, normal, sadharana people's life. Like not like I'm not talking about like okay in the movie industry or anything. Apart from that, normal people like who go and do daily wages and work and they come back home trying to live an honest life. They have family and everything is it's like it's all broken. And it's not like, and even if it's in an IT company or like if you see people there also, so many people are frustrated, and their relationships right now, nobody has the patience to have sacrifice or commitment or patience like before, like our parents did. I feel like this generation now, nobody has the like for relationships and everything. Okay, if it doesn't work, dude. Okay, fine, thank you very very much, bye bye, divorce. That's what's happening now, very common.
Everything is moving very fast, even in the personal lives as well.
It's crazy, like and even like if you, and I was like, I'm thinking about it, like it's and life is like that. Who are we to judge another person at the end of the day? We can't judge anybody else. Like, you know, it's crazy. Like, my best thing was like, I shouldn't have any. I was shocked, obviously, when this, but then this is life. This is what is happening. There's no
Isn't
point
that
in
the case in Dubai? Like, there also broken marriages are there, right?
it is there, but I think, you know, families are a bit more closely knit because you are, first of all, you are in a place abroad. Rules are very strict there. I'm not talking about, you know, about personal life rules and all that stuff. Dubai, there's a lot of freedom and to do whatnot. But I don't know, like my circle of the people that I've been with, I think it's because of, you know, they have a mortgage, they have a mortgage to pay, they have bills to pay, they have, so everything you're connected in, you can't really like get off it. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen there, but
Comparatively less. Because
comparatively
you
less,
went
because
there to settle down.
and people have that freedom. You know, there's a sense of freeness and freedom. It's not like judgmental very much here. I'm not saying it doesn't happen there and it happens more over here. It happens everywhere in the world, but here the hypocrisy level is very much higher.
Okay.
Like trying to pretend that you're something else and then you're something else behind closed door. That hypocrisy level is a bit more higher and judgmental here more than abroad. You know, abroad means okay, fine. I think like what I've seen is that if people don't get along, they split ways.
Yeah.
And then they do whatever they want to do in their life, which I think is decent enough to do. You go your separate ways and then you decide whatever you want to do. But here it's not like that.
Because the society rules are different here and your personal things are different.
Yeah, here I feel like you know, there's so much of pressure from family, from everyone, like, you know, trying to show that you are like this perfect. You have to be like perfect at every time, perfect as a wife, perfect as a husband, perfect as a child, perfect as. At some point, people break, and it's okay to break. I feel like, but don't go to the level of, you know, it's just too much, I feel, over here.
And I have seen a question while searching for your data. People question, Google questions were like, people Googled, is Divya Pillai married? Is Divya Pillai engaged? Or Divya Pillai in relationship?
Yeah, there is. So, so the thing is, I was in a relationship for 12 years and we had the ceremony. So this is the first time I'm talking about it. So we had a ceremony. He's British Iraqi national.
Okay.
So we had the ceremony in Mugambika. My parents, his parents were there. So we had the ceremony in Mugambika. But unfortunately, we had to separate. We didn't.
Ceremony in the sense, it's a kind of engagement.
No, like the wedding ceremony happened.
Okay.
But we never got it legal. It was not legally done because he's a different nationality and I was a different nationality, and then there were some legal formalities that needed to be done, but we didn't get to that stage. Before that itself, we had to separate ways because he wanted other things in life and I wanted other things in life. So because of that, it was a mutual agreement to separate, and we didn't have to have this whole divorce thing. So when people ask me, what is your relationship status? Are you married? In a way, yes. But we were never legally married.
It's just the cultural thing, but it's not registered.
Not registered.
Okay.
We never got registered. So, and we just separated. So I was in a very long-term relationship and that relationship ended. So, so then that's the story of it. And now who I'm dating and everything is I just want to keep that personal, because if you bring it out, and I from my experience, you know, when I brought it out in the limelight and, you know, like I was openly talking about it, but then it's better to just keep it unless and until I'm ready to like share it with the world. I just want to keep it private. And I am dating, but I don't want to, you know, like talk about that.
Okay. No, different people perceive it. In
I mean, like
ways.
when it's time, when it's ready, I will definitely share. It's not like I'm not a person who's going to say that I'm not dating and all that stuff. No, I am dating, but I don't want to reveal or talk about whom and everything right now, because just in we'll see how it, you know, when everything is like going, and then we can talk about it.
That's so nice of you. Actually, I have never seen an actress speaking this way. Like,
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
very like straight away. This is what this is.
yeah,
This is it.
yeah, this is it. Like,
That's very comforting.
yeah, no, other than this, come, just keep guessing, second guessing. What are you creating that thing for? I mean, I don't care. Like, it's
It makes life simple
so
and
much,
cool.
yeah, easier. It's see, we are living in this world. Everybody is dating someone or the other. So how am I different from any other person? How am I different from any
You're
other
not
person?
from another planet.
Yeah, I'm not from the other. I'm living here, same with you, having the same struggles and troubles that you have. So I'm just a normal person.
Lovely talking to you,
Thank
Divya. I'm
you, thank
really
you.
telling this. Great talking to you, actually.
Thank you, Harshini.
And great. I want to thank you for coming this far
Yeah.
and giving me interview.
Yeah, thank you so
She
much.
came from Kerala
Yeah.
for this interview.
Yes, mainly.
Mainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harshini.